Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Varus top build. So now this build looks kind of whack, and I honestly think it's pretty weird as well, but I tested it out. You guys will see in the gameplay later. It is actually pretty good, which I cannot really... It's not that I can't believe it, I can't easily believe it, but I thought this build was so weird initially, and yeah, we're gonna get into it real soon. But as we all know, Varus is kind of that ADC that you can build really anything on, and it's just whatever you build is gonna work, even like a mishmash of items in this weird order as well. Like we have like an AP item, we have a tank item, we have like on-hit items that are in the reverse order of what I would usually build them in. So like this build is really whack, and just to really drive that point home, this was like the top build for like a week on like the top 3 players, and now it's not even in there anymore. I mean, the third player's build is like kind of slightly similar, but not really. So yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. So first off, we're going to start with the Gluttonous Greaves. Obviously, this is going to give us the Omnivamp as well as the AD, which of course does make sense. Then we're going to Terminus as a first item. Now, Terminus, personally, I'm not normally a fan of Terminus first item. I think it does work, of course, but to me, they're just better first item options than Terminus. It does give you good stuff. It gives you, of course, attack speed and AD, on-hit magic damage, as well as, of course, getting the penetration as well as the stacking defenses. But I always just felt that getting the like stacking penetration and the stacking defenses are gonna just be better in the later part of the game, because you don't really have a lot of magic resist or armor yet in the early game. But hey, you have it first. Pretty good stats all around, still an okay item. Then we're going to Riftmaker second, which does, of course, make sense, because Varus does have good AP scalings, and the item is just really good in general. You get Omnivamp again, you get the Void Corruption passive, which increases your damage by 10% of true damage after like 4 seconds, and you get relatively good stats as well. So this one does make sense. Then you're going to Wit's End. Now, Wit's End, of course, does give you the attack speed, the magic resist, more on-hit magic damage, and of course does give you the healing when you're below half health. Again, this is just a very good item for Varus in general. Gives you healing, gives you attack speed, and of course the magic resist is really important. And here is where it gets a little bit interesting, which is we're going for the Amaranth Twin Guard. Now this gives you 60 armor and magic resist, as well as, of course, getting that passive that increases your armor and magic resist by 35%. Now, however, you want to note that this does reduce your AD by 1 to 15. Now, normally this is the main reason why this item is not good on any kind of carry kind of champions anymore. However, in this case, we're basically kind of just deciding that the trade-off is worth it. I mean, most of our damage comes from on-hit as well as magic damage, so losing AD in this particular build is not going to hurt as much. In fact, some people even go for armor boots as a first item to boost the armor from here as well as the magic resist from here. And furthermore, you do have a little bit of health with Riftmaker as well to make even better use of your defensive stats. And finally, as a last item, we're going for Borg. Now, there could be only one reason, in my opinion, why you go for Borg as the last item. I think as a first item, it's great because of the burst damage from the Drain passive. However, as a last item, the Ruin Strikes passive just becomes so much stronger. You will notice we don't have any Moral Reminder or Sorrel's Grudge, because of course we do have the Terminus at the start, but at the end we have the Blade of the Rune King, simply because if you're against any health stackers who have Heart Steel and items like that, Titanic Hydra, etc., by the time you reach your last item, they're gonna have so much health, it's gonna be very, very difficult to kill them, even with the Terminus. So that's where the Rune Strikes from the Blade of the Rune King comes in to finish off the job. Now for the runes, most of them like to take Lethal Tempo, which of course is really good just to give you a lot of attack speed with the on-hit build, but Press the Attack will work as well since you have a pretty decent amount of attack speed in the build already. But of course, if you're going for pure on-hit, it's going to be like Wit's End into, Borg into Wit's End and Terminus, so it's 3 attack speed items at the beginning, whereas with this one, it is not. So that's why I believe most people go for the Lethal Tempo. Brutal, of course, because you auto-attack a lot. Giant Slayer generally going to be the best rune here. Alacrity for more attack speed. And of course we have Hex Slash for the mobility, or you could go for Bone Plating for the defenses. And finally we have Flash as a summoner spell, as well as Ghost for the extra mobility, or you could go for Exhaust if you're against a lot of assassins. But with all that said, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Alrighty, so now we're hopping into the gameplay here. And honestly, we've already covered Varus a decent amount. Like, you don't really have any particular support that you love. You work well with Engage because you can follow up with your ulti. You work well with Enchantress as well because obviously you are a champion who auto-attacks a lot and you're kind of becoming a hyper carry towards the later part of the game. So you work well with basically anything that you have. And with this build, I find it really difficult to say when you want to go for this build over other builds. Like, just note that some of the top Varus for like a couple of weeks, or like not really a couple, but maybe like a week or two, have been just going for this build like as a default 100% of the time, and it does seem a little bit funky, but when you test it out like I did here, you will see that it actually does really work out pretty well. So I'm not going to focus so much on talking about, you know, who Varus support is, or like what kind of situation which would call for these kind of builds, but we're going to just focus on talking a little bit more just about what's happening in the match, because honestly, I really don't know when you would really go for this build. I personally only ran for this build because I saw it, like all the top players were building it, so I was like, you know, let me give it a shot, and I did. It was actually pretty good, as you will see in this match, but I wouldn't go for this on a regular basis because I just think this build is a little bit weird. Alright, so anyways, here we're taking a look at the lane. We have a Ashe MF bot lane, and this is basically like a really pretty weird bot lane. This kind of stems all the way back to I forgot what it was, but in like League Pro Play, there was a year that we had the SKT versus Rox Tigers, and like Rox Tigers picked MF support with Ashe ADC like 2 games in a row, and they won both of those games because you have the, of course, Ashe ulti into the MF ulti kind of combo, and you have a lot of poke as well. You can see that this is basically what they're trying to do. Ashe is trying to use her volleys for poke, as well as just auto attacking. MF trying to bounce on top of us. Of course, this is the new MF that we've had for some time now, and you can see the poke is dealing a bunch of damage, and MF even has an arcane comet to boot, and looks like she probably is going for like an E-Max you know, AP kind of build, most likely, you know, to just keep up the poke the entire match. And we already have like at half health here. Nami is running out of mana because she's been healing us over time, just from all the poke we've taken. We have run out of mana ourselves, so here is where we really want to back and reset. Now I'm not sure why Nami cancelled the back here, and then is now recalling again. But we're going to quickly make our way back to the lane. Looks like the enemy team has taken a reset as well. Now if I were them, I would be trying a little bit harder to stop us from resetting, and maybe just keep us in the lane where we have no resources and we can't fight back. So we did get a, in my opinion, a very sneaky you know, reset that we probably shouldn't have gone if the Ashe and MF were, of course, trying to stop us, which of course with MFE is pretty easy. Even an Ashe W in some instances will be able to easily stop a back. Now here I'm forced to use my Q to thin the wave. If not, a huge wave is going to be crashing into my tower, and you know, that's not going to be good, especially with Pantheon in the area and at level 5. He can easily just ult and dive us under tower, and yeah, that's not gonna be a good look. So we want to try to prevent that situation by clearing the wave before it comes in. Now we can still see Pantheon here in the jungle in a skirmish with the volley as well as the Akali. Akali gets the kill on him. Unfortunately, because we don't have priority, MF is roaming, does get the ulti onto volley for the kill, and Akali picks up a double onto A Soul, but Ashe is running her down slowly but surely. Now here MF is caught out of position, so I'm gonna flash and chase the MF. We easily get the kill onto her. Akali actually escapes the grasp of Ashe, and Ashe also, of course, is clearly fine being the aggressor and all. We're not really going to be able to catch the Ashe here. She's like right outside her tower, so there's not much we can really do here but push in the wave using our numbers advantage and then get a reset. Overall, we did, of course, expend 2 summoner spells for a kill onto MF in trade, but overall, if you take a look at the overall bot lane situation, we now have a kill. MF has a kill and a death. And overall, I would say that we've come out on top on this particular situation, if only just barely. So now headed back to lane, the lane has pushed in. We can pick up these minions. We only lost 1 minion. I guess we didn't last hit that one, so we lost kind of 2 minions. But we still get the passive XP. So here we have a recurve bow first item. I tend to prefer going for the attack speed before going for the AD. No real hard and fast rule about it. Going for the BF sword first is also actually pretty good because the huge amount of AD in lane is actually going to be very useful. But here we did choose to go for the attack speed. And here we're just trying to land poke ourselves. Of course, Varus is a pretty strong poke champion, but nothing compared to Ashe MF kind of combining their poke together. That's you know, sort of toxic. But here we are just going to continue on, you know, just basically nothing too special, just clearing out minions. The dragon is spawning soon. Volibear is kind of just waiting for dragon to spawn, honestly, I think. And MF is and Ashe have spotted this happening. Now here, Nami has rotated to help, but I'm quickly shoving in this wave. This is going to force the enemy team to either lose a whole wave of minions or to respawn. Here I get the ulti onto Ashe, and Ashe gets the ulti onto me as well. I'm going to just Hex Splash away to safety. and Ashe and MF are both left really low. Now this is a very kind of iffy situation. Pantheon is coming in and he can one-shot me. We get the dragon, and the Nami gets a beautiful bubble onto the Pantheon to deny his entry into the pit. We pick up the dragon itself, and now my team is kind of chasing for kills. Now I'm going to once again go for the wave, this time so that we can shove in the wave and maybe look for a dive. Unfortunately for us, the entire enemy team has decided to run away and not towards the tower, so there's no dive to be had at all. We pick up a solo tower plate, and now Nami is here for us to get another tower plate with her. And we're going to quickly clear this wave and either reset or maybe even greet for a third plate. And so here we're going to quickly greet for that third plate I was mentioning, and then we're going to get a reset, as the enemy team should be making their way back to the lane by now. So here a pretty huge win for us. We picked up the dragon and we picked up a couple of plates, as well as the enemy team lost some waves on their tower. So you can see that off of this, we actually now have a 1k gold lead ahead of Ashe. And this, remember that this 1k gold lead basically just comes from tower plates and minions. It's not from kills at all, because you know, we always had that 1 kill. So this time, you know, it's really the tower plates and the waves. Speaking of which, the enemy team is trying to get the tower plates for themselves as well. They do get one, but I'm able to clear out the wave. And look at this poke. It's kind of just insane. Like, that's like 1/4 of my health just from the poke, which is, yeah, which is not fun. Now here Ashe goes for the combo. Unfortunately, Nami is able to save me with the wave, and I'm able to get the kill onto MF. I do a lot of damage to Ashe, but I have to run away because I'm 1 HP and Ashe will kill me. Nami flashes forward, finishes off the job on the Ashe, and we end up getting a clean 2v2 kill in the bot lane. Yeah, so that was basically how the combo was meant to work, the Ashe into MF combo. Fortunately, Nami's wave disrupts the MF ulti, which does end up causing them to do a lot less damage than they would have, and also knocks both of them up and slows them, so we can of course then follow up. So now at this point, we're kind of snowballing the lane because, you know, they basically landed their dream combo on me, but you can see that even as that happens, they don't manage to get the kill, which is basically just a nightmare scenario for them. Because if you can hit the combo and you don't even get a kill and you end up both dying instead, man, I would not want to be that bot lane. So here we're back in the bot lane, removing the bone plating so that when Nami comes, we're able to fight. Again, picking up the minion wave. Nami giving me a very good amount of healing, and I'm just going to clear up the next wave as well. And of course, we have ult. And we can of course fight. They have ult as well, so you know someone's gonna get caught again, possibly. But it looks like they've abandoned ship and they're not even in the lane. I don't know where they went. But I'm gonna just quickly take this tower. They are back. Nami gets hit by the ulti and now just launches the wave. We hit the ulti onto MF, burst her down. Ashe is now on the run. They've used everything on Nami and they have nothing left to use on me, so we easily get both kills on both of them. And you can see that this time they hit the Nami, and when they hit the Nami, I don't have a wave to knock them out to save Nami. I do have the ulti, but even if I ult the MF, she is still gonna ult because the root doesn't interrupt it. So instead, I just reposition myself into a better position, hit the ulti onto the MF, finish her off, get my passive, and then use that attack speed passive to finish off the Ashe as well. So really, at this point, we have just gone too far of a lead, such that the enemy team can no longer really kill us. Like, the health that Nami got from that Imperial Mandate probably helped out a lot here. And yeah, I mean, they again hit their dream combo, and this time on a arguably better target, Nami, because I cannot interrupt the combo, whereas if they hit it on me, Nami can interrupt the combo. So even though they got the dream combo again, we still end up killing them. So really, yeah, we have a 0-4 Ashe and a 1-3 MF, and yeah, I'm like 3k gold ahead of the Ashe at this point. We hit another ulti, burst down the Riven. Riven takes a lot of damage, gets stunned by Nami, we finish her off, go unstoppable, tank a tower shot for it as well, but I mean, what can MF really do here? Nothing too much. So we are, you know, we're golden here. So taking a look at the overall situation, Riven is feeding on the enemy team. She's 0-6. Ashe ulti goes wide. We already know the bot lane is feeding. Aurelion Sol 1-6 as well, and Pantheon is 3-6. So our team has an overwhelming lead against the enemy team. You can see at this point in the game, not even 10 minutes into the game, we have a 12k gold lead. That's more than 1k gold lead per minute, which is absolutely insane. My whole team is crushing them. I mean, my Garen is legendary. I'm 5-0. Nami's 1-0-6, and of course we have Akali 9-3. Nothing to scoff at, and Volley also doing very well, 3-2 with 2 full items completed. Unfortunately, as I say that, Garen ends up getting shut down. It looks like Akali is on the wrong side of the rift as well. She also dies, and yeah, I had to jinx it right there. Here, it's Infernal Soul, so we are trying to focus on the dragon to try to get to the Infernal Soul. Pantheon is on his way in. Again, Nami Wave stops him in his tracks. Followed by a Nami bubble, followed by a Varus ulti, and Nami ends up getting the shutdown onto the Pantheon. Yeah, Pantheon stood no chance here. Yeah, just basically just ends up dying. Now here, Riven looks like she's on the chase. Now honestly, we were running from her because Riven always has the chance to kill us. But honestly, just looking at the situation here, 0-6 Riven is probably not too big of a threat. Although if she hits the CC onto us, into the MF ulti, that could be trouble. Speaking of CC, Ash Arrow comes in. I'm gonna pop the Ghost. We're turning now with the entrance of the Volibear. I flash for it to go for the MF. Yeah, MF is just gone. She's still worth a full 300 gold because she did get the assist just now onto the Pantheon kills, I believe. So her gold is reset, so it allows us to get the full value. So I do believe that that's worth my flash. And here Riven is back, coming for more. We get the ulti on her, burst her down. She transfers it to the Ash. And Red is going to Hex Splash forward just with a little bit of extra distance, and we finish off the kill onto Ash as well. Now, just 11 minutes into the game, yeah, we are in a very good spot. Aurelion Soul now ends up just basically just running it down, I believe, at this point. And yeah, so here we have the minion wave coming in. I'm going to quickly grab the blue buff because I'm out of mana, and I could use the mana to just help my team out a little bit. We actually end up acing them, and here, because all the inhibs are, sorry, the top inhib was already taken. I'm not sure the Nexus Shield is there, I can't quite see. Yeah, Nexus Shield is there. We actually end up taking all 3 inhibs on the same push, which is just completely whack. So here I get hit by Ashe ult, but there's no threat, so I don't even bother popping my QSS, which I did buy just for this particular case. In case I get hit by Ashe ulti in a compromising position, I can just pop the QSS. So now here I'm 9-0 at this point with my first 2 items completed, probably first 3 items at this point. Yeah, there we go, Wits End completed. In this case, the Wits End does, of course, help against the ASOL, but ASOL's kind of trolling. Also helps against the MF, so it is still a really good buy. And you kind of see how successful this kind of weird build is. So here a huge fight breaks out in the mid lane. I'm trying to run there as fast as I can. Nami ends up dying to Pantheon. Pantheon runs off into the right side of the map, and here you can see I can't join the fight. The enemy team is running away too quickly. I basically, you can see it looks like I'm in the fight, but I didn't actually contribute anything whatsoever to the fight at all, honestly. So here we're gonna try to end the game at this point, and we could if we wanted to, but we're just playing with our food a little bit. Pantheon out comes in. I go unstoppable because I thought Pantheon was gonna stun me, but he ends up targeting Akali instead. Now I'm cutting the Riven out. You can see here, and my auto attacks are doing a lot of damage. I end up going legendary here, trying to snipe the Pantheon here, but not too successful. Now here we run out of minions here, so I'm not sure why Volley is going in. Like, I don't think we can finish the game there unless Volley tanks the base and the minion doesn't die, because we need that minion damage. And here the base ends up living on 291 HP. Now I could try to go for an end here, but I don't think I could get the end with the entire enemy team respawning. I probably would just die and give them a shutdown. So instead of doing that, I'm going to just back off. And I honestly can't believe we didn't end the game there. I honestly think that we trolled a little bit. Like, if Volibear just tanked the tower, probably tanked 2 or 3 tower shots, I would have ended the game there with the minion alive. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Actually, honestly, I kind of trolled as well, because if I didn't run away and just auto-take the base twice with the Volibear, we might even have ended the game there. So maybe I was the one who was trolling. But either which way, our team, one or more of us, ended up trolling, and we didn't actually end up getting the win. And yeah, so now we do still have all 3 inhibs though, and we have Infernal Soul for us spawning in 40 seconds. So honestly, this still should be a done deal unless our whole team throws the match. You can see that here Akali ends up dying on side, and our team is trying to respond. But honestly, I think that a better use of our time is just to really push in the waves into the enemy base and force them to respond to us, because they're the ones who have to do something about the situation, and we don't. Like, we can just push in all 3 lanes, or at least 2 lanes, hex splashing over the wall here to get the rip buff. At least 2 lanes or even 3 lanes, and the enemy team has to respond to it. If not, we're gonna end the game. We don't have to do anything stupid. And here, Nami Wave comes in to catch out the Riven, but she dashes out of the way of my ulti. I'm trying my best to reach her, which I do. I'm gonna QSS the the stun here. I get hit by Aurelion Soul Stun and get sucked in, but honestly, I heal so much that it actually doesn't end up mattering. Here I'm just focusing A-Soul, who nearly kills me. And double kill comes in from the Volibear, and looks like we can finally end the game at this point. Only MF is left alive. I'm just going to come in to join the group picture, and we do get the win. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.